Well, we're just pulling out of Angola. I'll tell you.
Proceed to the highlighted road.
I know where I'm going, car. For any of you that have ever driven through Buffalo, going, I guess that's the I-90. Angola is.
Proceed 17 miles on I-90.
Why do I need to know this? I know where I'm going. Angola is a stop. I stop here every time on the way home to get gas, or usually on the way to Ohio to get gas, every time. And when in today, everything's gone. They're going to tear the place down and build it up brand new, which I thought was interesting, to say the least. I thought that was very interesting, but I guess I don't really have a connection to it, so I don't care. But it was weird. You walked in, there's usually McDonald's, Subway. I think there's a Cinnamon bun there, a little coffee place. Everything's closed. Vending machines are gone. Everything's gone. Said in 3 months they're going to rip it down and build a new one. Cool, I guess. So a little tidbit, a little tourism tidbit for you. If you were a little peckish heading home to Ontario or leaving Ontario, don't stop in Angola because they won't have anything for you. So we're going to continue on our list now with the 4-year-olds. Atlas Hanover. They've thrown in a couple of clunkers once in a while, very rarely, but a couple of them. And the other day they went 49 first off. Secondly, he gets away 5th or 6th and then comes first over with him, middle half and 54 in a piece. Not really his cup of tea, and he let everybody know it around the last turn when he dropped anchor. Now I called Jimmy about it. I said, this class getting a little tougher, and he kind of looked poor the other night. What do you want to do? And he was up front. He said, yeah, I get it. He said he flipped his pallet a little bit. We're going to inject his pallet and then not be first over through middle half and 54 in a piece. Now I understand where the gentleman was going with. He wanted cover and didn't find any, and it's just the way it worked out. But hopefully Timmy can drive him. He can get him in a good spot, and then if in fact they go in 49, he gets overpowered again, then we'll move him. I mean, as I said to Jimmy, my thinking on Atlas was to bring him home, and I know that Pete and a couple of people wanted to, but I'm not bringing a horse home to a class that can't do it, and he can't do it in the class. So I hoped he could. If he had him out and finished 2nd or 3rd in 49, okay, fine, we'll look at it, but he can't do him with those horses. What I was looking at doing with him, maybe, potentially, is sending him to Oak Grove, resting him 2 or 3 weeks, sending him to Oak Grove to race there. I think he could be a pretty good horse there, to be honest. And he's like a couple of our horses where maybe not quite open company yet. Maybe they will be someday. Maybe not there yet, but could be at some point. And that's the type of horse I think Atlas Hanover is. So where do we race him? I don't really want to have him in Ontario just yet, I guess, unless we have to. It's an option. Dover's an option also. He's there right now. We have a ton of options with the horse. He can race anywhere we want to race him. We just don't want overlap, so there's no point really sending him to Plain Ridge if he's going to bounce around with Patrick LaPrana or end up in there at some point. He can get around a half, but I suspect he's better on a 5/8. Although he raced fine at Delaware last year. Well, one of the starts he did. So I guess the easiest way to put it is there's a ton of options for a horse like Atlas Hanover. Just trying to figure out the best one moving forward, and it may be right where he is. We'll see how he races this week. Blue Tesla got a little feedback, little flack for sending her to Saratoga, and I think the flack comes from people not having the New York licenses and don't want to get them. And that's New York's problem. That's not our problem. I apologize. I feel sorry, but the same token, here's the horse that does tie up. We've struggled with treating her at Northfield Park. We've struggled with treating her at First Line. We've struggled with treating her in the Meadows somewhat. And it may not have just been tying up. I was very frustrated and almost disgusted with her race the other day. We didn't scope her. We didn't draw her blood. I just said send her to Saratoga and Mark can have a fresh look at her. And Mark said she landed there with quite a bit of mucus in her nose. She might have been a little bit sick the other day. It might have been one of those take a deep breath situations and reevaluate. But at the same token, she does fit a series in a number of classes at Saratoga. She fits perfectly in Saratoga if they can get her around. And he said, well, she gets around half minute. minute 56 at Northfield Park, her lifetime mark. I would say she's never been as good as she was at Northfield Park. I think she'd get around any size track very easily. So why don't you do that with her? So that's the plan. I know I caught a little flack over that, but again, we have to race our horses where they can win. And I don't think there's a place better than Saratoga to race Blue Tesla right now. So although she's been poor, and yes, we can move her, for the people out there that don't want to get licensed, and I don't blame you. Certainly don't blame you in any way. We should be able to move those shares for what she's worth on our market for the most part. Dustin Hanover pinned in the other day. I have nothing to say. I can't blame James. I watched the race, same as you did. There was nowhere to go from start to finish. Nowhere. He's sharp. He ate everything the last 3 days. He'll do that when he's raced conservatively. He'll be heading over to Pennsylvania. He has a stake coming up on Thursday. Now, do I drive him on Thursday? I want to say yes, but I do have to go to Michigan on Friday. So I'm going to ask Tim if he could, pretty please ask the race secretary if he can get him in the first race. That would be very, very helpful for me. HL Ballou continues training out. I talked about HL Ballou in the opening, and Mark. Mark's doing a great job with the horse. He's really, really protective of him and conservative with him, and I think it'll pay off down the road. This is a horse that could be, might be, and at the very least is absolutely worth what we paid for him, but could be worth a lot more. We'll see how that plays out over the next, I'd say he'll be ready in 6 weeks, maybe. Hunted House, everybody said, he didn't race very good last time. I thought he raced fine. I wasn't surprised at all. This horse with very few starts, a big, heavy horse that was used twice, and it wasn't Jody's fault. He had to use him where he did. He left to get strung all the way to the quarter pole with him. Then he let one go. That horse let one go. The speed continued. The favorite pops out of the 2-hole, James, in the last turn, and Jody follows him. They both walked. He paced 52-2. It's rain go right now, 52. Now, another horse, if these classes are going to continue to be a little tough for him at Mohawk, we have tons of options for Hunted House. Remember, might be a big horse, he can get around any size track. We can race him wherever we want. He was technically paid into the non-winners of 6 series at Miami Valley. Does he fit there? Is he a good fit for that class? I don't want to send him somewhere to get eviscerated. So I'm going to keep a close eye on... I'm going to ask Stacy if the entries... That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask her if the horse is nominated, the list is up, and I'll go through each one by one, just to see if he can fit. If he can fit, he can go there. But I'm a little surprised that the non-winners of 2, not more than 4, is going in 51. A little surprised. But I thought the horse was fine. He was as advertised last night. You can't move him twice and pace 51. You just can't do it yet. And I think it's really important that people understand he does not have a lot of starts lifetime. Here's a big, heavy animal that needs probably another 10 or 15 starts to maybe even start to see his true potential. It certainly wasn't last night. I wasn't surprised, shocked, or disappointed in Hunted House last night. J.K. Mickey Mantle is back going now. I didn't realize that they had switched them already. I sent Kirby a message on Saturday morning and said, hey, can you swap out Looks Like Money and J.K. Mickey Mantle at the field? He goes, I did 2 days ago. Hey, you're on the ball. Harry's on the ball. Awesome. He usually is. So, J.K. Mickey Mantle is back going now at the Burn. J.K. Victory, we're going to school on Monday. A lot going on with this guy. It certainly wasn't a seamless transaction, that's for sure. We got him. He didn't race good his first start. On the right line, over on the left shaft. We had him to the vet twice. Nothing serious found. Some old lingering issues that we're trying to deal with best we can. Had a good conversation with Ron Burke about the horse. Put his mark on him. Knows him very well. And we've been treating him accordingly. So we will see how he schools tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. And I think anything I have to say needs to be deferred until after the schooler of J.K. Victory. Looks Like Money is out in the field just 3 weeks for this guy, and he's coming back in. We'll have him ready for first part of May, which will give him 2 solid starts before the graduate comes to Mohawk. Red Overbach will qualify next Friday. We'll get him back up and going. You see a lot of 3-year-olds qualifying, getting ready to qualify. We have, as I said, 34 horses inside of a month. They'll be all racing in their jurisdictions. Renegade Gypsy's jogging training now. He'll be ready for that Ontario Graduate Series in April. So will Resolute Bay. We get them ready a little bit earlier, so be it. I thought if they had them ready really early, they could race in that series that Locatelli's in. I mean, they don't really belong in there, but it could be a good start for them. And if they need one start towards the end of the month, then might have that for them too. Stonebridge Ducati was weird. Race is canceled in the middle of the card because of lightning the other day. Stonebridge Ducati was trained. I meant to call Stacy and ask how he trained. Trained yesterday. I did not get an update from Stacy on how he trained, but trained yesterday, and then we'll be racing on Wednesday in Miami Valley again. 3-point blue chip, as I say, continue to tell you, he's in a holding pattern. He has not gone back to training yet, as far as I know. Unbeatable Kemp is qualifying on Monday. It's more than likely I'll go with Unbeatable Kemp and qualify him at Mohawk, just because White Tiger and him are in together. World for Two also qualifying Monday at Mohawk, so it'd be good to get those guys back going. Yo Mister, a lot of expectations behind this guy. Somebody asked me, are we staking him to a bunch of stuff? I said no. Maybe the Indiana stake. I suppose we could. Let's see how he races. I mean, we have till the 15th to stake him, so we'll see how that plays out over the next little bit. But for right now, Yo Mister's not staked to anything. It's just a nice horse that we're looking to race. Good as him. Now we'll start with the 5-year-olds. Good as him. He'll be off till this fall, but I heard the x-rays went well the other day, and the healing is at or above what they'd want to see. So he's doing very, very well, so happy to hear that. Locatelli races Monday. Really excited to see him come back. Maybe we'll see how he does Monday. I mean, I don't expect him to go out and trot 50 on Monday, or 51, or 52, or 53. But we'll see how he races on Monday. No Free Lunch is back going full-time now. We'll see how long it takes him to get back in the swing of things. She's a Sassy Beach, a winner last week. Races at Saratoga this week. Somebody sent me a message, said, I had no idea this filly was going to New York. Well, we claimed her in New Jersey, and I believe I told everybody she might go to New York, race at Yonkers, or race somewhere. Either way, there's no rush. She's not racing until Tuesday or Wednesday. We can get everybody licensed, but the ability to race this filly at Monticello, Saratoga, Yonkers, the Meadowlands, Poconos, all those tracks in that surrounding area will be very important over the next little while. And as I said to Megan, she was talking about she didn't want to lose odds on Delray next week, and I said, any of these horses we lose, I assume most of the money that is sitting there in the claiming, people will be more than happy to replace the horse with. I know I would. So I wouldn't worry about losing the horses. Just put them where they can win. Not that hard. Put them where they can win. So Megan knows that. I mean, I like, as I said in my opening video, I like the fact that she's really competitive and that is very driven. So she's a Sassy Beach. I see is 3-1 morning line. I don't know the driver of the horse. I can't remember who it was now, but I remember looking at it and saying, I'm familiar with that person. I'm sure they do a good job. Compass Rose, there's a broodmare, Griff Moss, Muscle Chrome. A lot of broodmares on that list, eh? We go all the way down to Stay Close. He'll be back training. I said last week, but I believe the vet asked for one more week. They were going to check him up again. So he'll be trained at some point this week. I would suspect.
Keep left.
Why am I getting updates from this thing? Oh, I see why.
In 1/4 of a mile, use the 2 left.
Stay Close. Stay Close's vet appointment has been going great. The optometrist has been going great. Very happy with the way, with what they've been saying about him and how his eye is. He'll train probably this week, let's say 1.30 miles. Then we'll go back 1.20 miles. He's pretty hyper horse, so it's not that easy just to go, just go slow mile. He doesn't really do slow that well. He's more of a little bit grabby. 1.25 miles would be a walk in the park for him, so I think that's probably where we'll start, somewhere around 25-30. Kings County's going to get all our mares in full, hopefully. Starting this week, we'll be collecting all the semen, and he's back jogging now. He's at Stacy's farm also. He's back jogging at the field, feeling good. He'll be back in no time. White Tiger is qualifying Monday. James will go with him. Patrick the Piranha is at Northfield Park right now, playing a little bit on the walker. He's going to go do a little jogging, and we'll get him ready in time. As I said to Jason, there's no need to worry about training him twice a week and jogging him 5 miles, and just keep him quiet. this guy. So probably I'll slide over there. I might go a mile on 25 or 30 with him this week on Wednesday and see how he feels, but I know he feels good. He's had a little bit of rest and pretty sharp. Right now, per lucky, Jason has him very, very good right now. So happy. Not just for Per Lucky, but for Jason also, because, you know, here's one of our flagship operations that don't really have a whole lot to race right now. You know, we were winners last week with HP Maestro, and he's been doing very good with Took a Dive Off Dipper, but be happy when we get the bulk of our crew back up and running very soon. Running, maybe not the best word, but back up and going very soon, and Per Lucky is holding the line, so to speak, for us as he's up in the open trot. Odds on Delray raced great last week for Megan. Really happy twice now, second twice, and raced good both times. He's in that claiming series. She was worried about maybe skipping a week with him and racing a week after. I said, Megan, you do what you want with Odds on Delray. That's your pony. You do as you wish. If you want to miss a week, then miss a week. But, you know, just continue to do your best to put him in where he can do, and I'm sure he'll do well for us. Took a Dive Off Dipper is in Monday. Picked very, very low odds on Monday at Northfield Park. I think it's Monday. Might be tonight. No, I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday. I'm almost sure it's Tuesday. Tuesday in Northfield. And then our boy Sintra, probably a couple of weeks back, away from schooling, I believe, Harry told me. So he'll be going soon. I talked a bit about him and horses like him in the opening video also. So there's your aged horses. Almost all the way through all of our videos. I'll be done by the time we hit Canada.